Good morning. It is mid-July and I am in my pollinator patch. This is Aurora Native Garden and we are zone 5B. So yeah, we're in my pollinator patch. This is a updated garden tour. It is morning time, shortly after 9, so this part is a little shady, but I want to show you what's going on here. I'm going to try to avoid some of the lens flare and the glare of the sun. It's been really hot here. Today is not so hot yet, but it will get hot. This is my common milkweed. I discovered some more milkweed yellow, so I had to take them out. Common milkweed there. The flowers are all droopy and some of them are already spent. Some of the foxglove, try to show you. They're already spent as well. There's a couple of flowers left on them. And that's my calico aster. That's caged because the rabbits ate most of it. I have some dense blazing star in there. Some more of the foxgloves. They are almost past its blooming. I have some common yarrow in here, but I planted in some bone set. And yesterday, after I think it's like 3 days or 4 days in the garden, they flopped over, so I gave it a bit of watering. I pulled out some yarrow as well. There's quite a bit of yarrow in here. They are a little bit thuggish in my garden. I don't know if you remember, but this is my Canadian Columbine, wild Columbine, and these two are not, but I kind of relocated one over there just to give it a bit more symmetry. I have some asters that are about to bloom, so they're almost there. And this is the hoary vervain. They really like it here. They're doing well. This soil here is very clay heavy. I have added some mulch just because I think a lot of the leaf mulch had disintegrated, and because I was moving and editing so much stuff, I exposed quite a bit of soil. So I had to add some mulch into the area. I've discovered some Japanese knotweed in there, so I'll have to take care of that. Right here we have Joe Pye weed. There's 3 of them. I planted them in here last year, and they're doing well. I have some swamp milkweed here. These ones are newly planted this year, so they haven't bloomed yet. I have some more over there that's blooming. I'll show you in a second. I left some Canadian goldenrod here. I didn't take them out. And I have my New England asters in the back over there. My New York asters are somewhere here tucked in, underneath the shot daisies. I pulled out actually quite a bit of shots of daisies as well, from the other side near where the feeder is. I have my Rebecca in there. I only have one. It kind of got eaten a little bit, but I'm going to keep it there. I have a patch of mountain mint there. And I think that is also a New York aster over there. And then I have smooth aster in there. Wasn't tall enough. It did get eaten by the rabbits, so hopefully it'll be like a Chelsea chop situation. I relocated a few of the hairy foxgloves over here. 2 plants I divided. Maybe I'll show you guys that video after, if I can get it out in time. Some more asters. Red oyster dogwoods. You can see there's some chomping action. There's some holes here, so somebody's eating them. There's some berries forming right here, so that's kind of cool. And then in there is my 9-bark. Won't go in because I think there's a lot of mosquitoes. There's another foxglove there. The ones that are purple. Those ones are really pretty. Let me see. In here I also have a pussy willow, and it's doing well. So it's starting to branch out again. It got relocated last year because it was too tall for the front. So I moved it into there because it was right there last year. I think I have a great blue lobelia there, I believe. But I'll leave him there for now. It may not be the best spot for him. I didn't realize that the red dogwood oysters would be a little bit more of a floppy form rather than standing up form. Sorry, it's a little hard to film this morning because of the sunlight and the shade here. Okay, let's take you over to this side. Some swamp milkweed. They're almost about to bloom. And then these are yellow avens. I normally cut off the seed heads. They're quite prolific and spreading. I did chop off some of them already, but I'm going to come in and chop off more of that. They self-seeded here, so I leave them. The bees like them, but I do cut off the seed heads because they're like little Velcros. They're really cute. I like the way they look, but I don't really need that much more of them in my yard. And then I have my cut leaf coneflower right there. He's getting tall. I got that at a plant sale. And over there, there's another one. I know they will become a bit spready, but I will be taking out peony and relocating it after in the fall. Right now I won't. It's doing pretty well, but in the fall when I cut it back, I'll relocate that somewhere else. These foxgloves, I have deadheaded them completely because they do kind of get a little stinky, their seeds, and I do already have quite a bit of it. This one's almost done being spent. And then this is a dense blazing star from bulbs, so it hasn't, I don't think that one's going to bloom yet, but hopefully by next year it will bloom. And then I have my gray sedge or morning star sedge, various names. I don't know if I want to relocate this guy. He doesn't seem as happy here, but we will see. In between all these lamb's ears, I have the Ohio spiderwort. It is doing well. My lamb's ear is crowding it out a bit. Probably going to yank some of this back a bit. It's really happy here. You can see a bee. It's not a native bee. This is the one that guards this territory. I have seen it fight with other native bees, but it just kind of shoos them away because this is his plant apparently. So in here I have my great blue lobelia, this Japanese spirea. I'm going to give to a friend come fall time. I'll take it out and give it to a friend. This is the Virginia clematis. I haven't seen any flowers on it yet, but hopefully we'll get some. But it is spreading quite nicely. I'm happy the way it's on my fence. And here I have an adjacent. This isn't really native to our area, but this is the oak leaf hydrangea. I got 2 of these as presents from my in-laws, so they are beautiful. I've never seen them bloom, and I just realized why. I did some research on it, and it's because the rabbits have eaten them down quite a bit during wintertime, and they bloom on old wood. So that means this year I'm going to cage it with some fencing wire or something like that, something a little bit more sturdy than the chicken wire. So yeah, we'll cage it to see if I get any blooms on it. The plant itself is doing well in this spot. It is a bit more moist here. I have a little blue stem here. He's doing well. There, big blue stem. And then I have dense blazing stars here. I have my scarlet Beebalm. It's being chomped by something. Haven't seen any blooms yet, but it is year 1 in my garden from a small little plant. So let's see how it does. And I have one cup plant here. Again, we'll monitor it, see how it does. My button bush. So no buttons on it yet, but I'm keeping it fairly moist. I do water this one more than the other ones in the yard, especially because this is year 1 in my garden and I want it to establish. But it seems to be relatively happy here. It's very sunny. The clay soil, hopefully it will like. I believe this is the upland goldenrod. Picture this. Plant ID keeps calling it tarragon. I'm pretty sure I didn't plant tarragon. This is one that I transplanted a few times, but hopefully it'll be okay. This is my baptisia. More upland goldenrod. And this is the other oak leaf hydrangea. Again, also didn't flower. This is in a much sunnier spot, and I feel like it is a bit too dry for it, but I'll leave it. I have a Japanese beetle on it, being my existence. That is the Culliver's root in the back. I think it's going to put on its first flower for me, which I'm excited about. So we'll see how they do. I might get some more of those. And this is spotted Beebalm. I put it here to see how it does to fill in the spot. As the oak leaf hydrangea is getting bigger, I may take this one out. My Anise hyssop. I don't think this one is native. This is probably a cultivar. I threw away the tags, so I don't remember, but the leaves are a lot more green, like bright green. I feel like this one is not straight species, but it's starting to bloom, and it's doing well in the garden. There is a cardinal flower. I have some of them in my pollinator patch, but right now I am in the cottage garden patch. And then there's great blue lobelia. So those are doing well. And then I have some echinacea in there. And I have some Beebalm in there. And our fun plant here is our Joe Pyeweed. It is very tall. You can see it's not the peak season yet. It's almost there. And it's taller than my fence line. It's getting taller. So they're almost about to bloom. And when they're in full bloom, the pollinators love it. So, yep. And then I have the blue flag iris in here, but it got stomped on. Right there. I have more dense blazing star here. Okay, I'm in my shade garden. That's the pollinator patch. And we are under some cedars. We're under a giant Norway maple that is on my neighbor's side of the fence. So it's very shady. I have Jack in the Pulpit right there. A bunch of weeds that I have to pull out. All of these are non-native sedges, so to yank those guys out. I have heartleaf aster, one here and one there. They're not doing so great. I don't know, maybe not enough something. Somebody knows, tell me. But this is also the first year it's in my ground, so hopefully it'll do well. I have an ostrich fern, and I have some ginger here. Hopefully the ginger will take and do well. There's another ginger there. Another Jack in the Pulpit here. And then I did plant some May apples. I don't know if they're here. Maybe it's completely died back because it's a spring ephemeral plant, so it could have completely died back. That's what I'm hoping, because I don't see it anymore. Luckily my tag is there. And when we come over here, I've transplanted some red dogwood oysters here. And this is the Norway maple that we saved and then realized it wasn't great. There's a lot of Virginia climber here. I leave it to run as ground cover. And then I have a chokecherry, a baby chokecherry that the squirrels or somebody had gifted to me in a different part of the yard. I transplanted here. So what I'm hoping for is it to get a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to chop down this Norway maple that we saved. Okay. So I also have here is my Eastern Redbud, our pride and joy. You can see the leaves are a little curly. It is quite hot, but it is forming some interesting seed pods. So they are in the pea family. You can totally see why, because these are little peas. It's really cute. And then on this side is our elderberry tree. It is also doing very well and very, very tall. The flowers are half done, actually mostly done, and the berries are starting to form on them. So that's pretty cool. I haven't taken the berries to turn it into anything yet. I don't think I will. I think I'll just leave it. But this was also saved from my neighbor's yard. New neighbors moved in, they didn't like the tree or the bush, they cut it down. And there's some creeping into my yard, so I dug it out. I think I put in 3 or 4 stalks right there, and then one over there. And they're crazy. I would say you need a lot of room for elderberries. They're not a small bush. They're definitely big. I will cut some of it back eventually. Right now I don't mind it's kind of being a bit wild looking, but once we get a shed here to replace this invasive grouping, it would be great. So this invasive grouping actually under here is all heavy clay, very heavy clay that we dug out of the cottage border when we first moved in, and threw all the clay here. We wanted to put a shed here, and literally I had just thrown these stitch lilies. I didn't even bury them, I just threw them there thinking I would deal with them after, and they took. That's how invasive they are, that's how crazy strong they are. Like a bunch of other stuff like gutweed and stuff in here, so and Shatta daisies and things. So I'll leave this, but excuse it. Some Virginia climber. They're doing well. Every year I yank them back, and every year they come full height. I don't dig them out, but I yank them off the fence line. And they're doing very well here. The Japanese beetle really like them. There's holes everywhere. Okay, now we are kind of in the middle of the garden, and I have my swamp milkweed here. This is, I think, a 3-year-old plant now, but you can see aphids and so much stuff on here. They're about to bloom. I don't see any caterpillars, but I do see milkweed beetles on here, I think they're called. Right over there. So he's happily chomping away. And then I noticed here, I don't know if you can see that, there's some lacewing eggs here. I'm going to leave them there. Hopefully they will help me take care of the aphid problem. But this is doing well here. This is a little bit sandier. I do water this guy quite a bit to give it the moisture it needs. But I may relocate it this year. The back pollinator patch. It may be too dry. And then here's all the glorious butterfly weed. It is so pretty. So pretty. I love it. I want to get my hands on more and more and more. It's doing well here. I think I put in 4 plants here. And this is the Pearly Everlasting with the pearls. So that's really fun. I think I also bought maybe 3 plants last year, I think. And it's become this little jungle of Pearly Everlasting. So I really like that. That's really pretty. It's sandy soil in this part of the garden, full sun, and it loves it. Absolutely loves it. Ignore my Shasta daisy. I will have to pull it out. Maybe rehome it or cut it back. It is getting quite big, but we will leave it for now. And then more butterfly milkweed. I don't know if these ones got the yellow, the milkweed yellow. They are smaller and their leaves are curlier. I'm waiting for it to bloom just to see, because maybe I planted a younger plant here, but the leaves look funny. So what's going on over there? But I feel like this could be yellows. I may have to pull it out. Yikes. And this is my dense blazing star here. First real success with it. I've been monitoring it for a few years. It's been in this patch, I think, maybe year 4. And the first few years I didn't get anything, but I also realized the bunnies loved it. So I caged it. And this year I'm finally seeing really tall stalks. I think it will be spectacular. I'm very excited about that. This is an invasive Rose Tree of Sharon. I don't know what to do. I really like the plant. I think it's beautiful. It does self-seed like crazy. I can see why it is invasive in some areas. I don't think it's fully invasive here, but it's a best not plant. I got this from my mother-in-law. She has some in her garden and they're beautiful. But I don't know. What do you think, guys? keep or not keep. It's a really pretty plant, and I actually really like the height and the narrowness of it in this garden, because then I still get full sun all around it. I do deadhead all the seed heads before it forms seeds to reduce spread of them, but we will have to see. Okay, and then we are in the front of the pool garden. This is where we located some of the Pearly Everlasting, and I have some Prarie Smoke, my favorite plant, and then we have some pussy toes. So one here and one there. These I just planted this year, but this lamb's ear is getting pretty big, so I'm gonna actually divide it in the fall and relocate half of it. Sadly, this is my New Jersey tea. I've been monitoring it. At first it got really yellow leaves, and then half the plant died. I think I figured out what happened. I had given it a little bit of the shake and feed, and that shake and feed was not the best. It got quite liquidy, and I poured some on. I think I burned the roots. I think I did the same thing I did to this as what I did to my blueberry plant, and my blueberry plant is zapped. So I think I have half a plant left. Some of the stalks are still green. So I'm going to monitor it, see what happens, see if it comes back, at least this half. I'm glad I still have one half of the plant. This wasn't doing as well as the one in the front garden. I'm glad I still have the one in the front garden. That way if this one dies, I still have another one. And then I have big blue stem there. It's going to grow quite big. I believe that's little blue stem. And then this is my Anise hyssop, the natural to our North America one. So it's a little slower than the other one to form. The leaves are less green. It is a bit more wild in shape, but it is a lovely plant. I'm very happy to have it. My blue star Amsonia is getting quite big. I think I'm gonna have to expand this part of the grass as well. Okay, the lighting conditions are a little bit better. I am in my pool garden now, and I have some obedient plants here. They're kind of cool. The flower stalk, you can kind of bend it in the direction you want. It hasn't flowered yet. I have the sawtooth sunflower, and it's getting pretty tall. It's definitely taller than me. But just to navigate you, that's the pollinator patch right behind the fence. And I have another bunch of it over there. I'm hoping to, in here, take out all the non-native grasses. It gives us a little bit of privacy when we're in the pool. That was the original intent before I found out about native plants. So I'm going to replace those with big blue stem, or maybe just take them out and get them ready for the site for next year. And then I have right here is my lead plant. Lead plant number 2. Lead plant number 1 is in the front. This is number 2. I want to try out the 2 different soil types. Here it's heavy clay. But I try not to water in here too much, because then the lamb's ear and the lavender won't be happy. Yep, I have big blue stem and little blue stem, so you can see the color difference between them. Little blue stem is a little bit more blue-green, light blue-green, and big blue stem is like more green with the darker grayish blue red tips. I do think they're both really pretty, and I definitely will be getting more of them. I think they add a lot of interest in this pool patch. Plus they like the sun, and I think they will give me what I was originally intending for this part of the garden, a little bit more of a drier look in here. I will forever keep my lavenders. I do love lavender. But yeah, this is the pool patch. I guess I'm zooming here. This is also red oyster dogwood, I believe. It's from the neighbors. There's a chain link fence between the two of us. But this provides us a lot of privacy, and it's doing very well here. The wildlife love it. I see birds on it, cardinals on it. I see pollinators when it's in bloom. So it's a wonderful plant to have. Okay, I'm in my front patch. This is the serviceberry patch. You can see the serviceberry tree. And all its berries are finally gone, all gobbled up. Oh, there's maybe one berry up there, but it's doing well. It's getting quite tall. A little sparse in the leaves and the branches, but hopefully over time it will do better. Here we have my New Jersey tea. This one's doing a lot better than the one in the back. It gets a lot more water, but it's sandy. I've just been babying this area because there's a lot of new plants here. These three were not, oh, I'm stepping on one. They came from the Pollinator patch. This is Prarie Dropseed, and it didn't do well in the back. I guess I should have known. Prairie means they don't like clay soil and more shade, so I brought it here. Hopefully it'll do well. Prarie Smoke, and it's done flowering. All the seeds are gone. My butterfly weed, so I think I have two varieties here. This is what happens when you buy it from a big box store. This is, I don't know what variety. It did say it was just butterfly weed, and it had its Latin name, and it matched. I'm not going to say it because I'm going to butcher it, but I'll show it on the screen. And then I think this one is the actual native variety. But that one is more yellow. I don't know if you can tell on the screen. It is more yellow than this one. A great blue lobelia that I planted last week. The Rebecca that got eaten by rabbits is caged. I have our Echinacea there. And then the cardinal flowers back here are about to bloom. So I'm really excited about that. I have 3 of them there. Also Upland goldenrod, Upland White goldenrod, and spotted Beebalm right here. Those guys look like they're about to bloom. The other Leadplant, he's doing well. He's actually happier here. Or gray sedge, or morningstar sedge. And then right there, I have my New York asters. They got Chelsea chopped by the bunnies, but they're growing back in, so hopefully that was good in terms of timing. They still have a chance to thrive. I have my Monarda here, and the Columbine. These are the native variety. They're quite pretty. They're still hanging on to a few blooms. And they have their seed heads, but I think the seed heads have exploded. So hopefully we'll have more babies. There's some violets over there. You can see a different angle of the cardinal flower. Let me see if I can step in. So those are doing well. They're very, very pretty. I want more cardinal flowers too. Empty patch there because it was supposed to be more Echinacea, but it got eaten by bunnies. And then I have a dense blazing star in the cage that hasn't really done much yet. And then on this side, more butterfly weed. In the front, everything is very sandy soil. It gets part shade, maybe about 4 to 5 hours of sun. This side a little bit less, maybe 4 hours of sun, full sun. So they aren't doing as well as the other side, but these ones I believe are the straight species. I had some Echinacea in that hole, but it got chewed, so I have to cage that. Some milkweeds, and then I have blue vervain right there. It's gonna bloom soon. I had planted a scarlet Beebalm. This is a cultivar because the bunnies ate down most of my stuff here, and I needed some color, something in this patch to give it some life because the street side is right there, and I want to make sure there's still something from that view that you can see some color for. I know it's not the straight species because I couldn't find any, and I didn't want to travel far to get them. And then from the backyard, when I was splitting and editing my garden, I had transplanted the hairy bear tongue. There's one there and one right there next to the butterfly weed. So hopefully next year there'll be something more to look at. This is more spotted Beebalm. And then this is right here is Pearly Everlasting. This is, I believe, hoary vervain. It doesn't look happy here though. So let's see what happens one more year. If not, maybe I'll transplant it to the Pollinator patch. That is New York aster. Hopefully it'll grow nice and big. That was a Rebecca. I'm gonna leave it. And that was another purple, that purple penstemon, the hairy beard tongue. But since it got chomped down, I think I have no choice. And then this is the raspberries. The raspberries came with my property. I've already eaten a few with my family, but mainly the birds eat it, and it looks kind of pooped right now. I think some animal tried to climb up on it to get the berries and snapped a few of them. You see, this is broken. We'll leave it for now. It does come back every year. I believe it has 2 seasons of stalks, and one of the stalks will die out. It will turn dark. You can cut that one, and then the new growth is this lighter white type of light white green type of stuff is the new growth. This darker one is the old growth. So by next year, I think this stalk will die out, and this will become its new stalk. I'm gonna have to train it to go this way. It's kind of this curve that I'm doing here. Okay, let me show you some more back here. So I have foam flower there, a Canadian anemone. You see a lot of it got chomped by rabbits, but there's still quite a bit left. There's seed heads on them, so that's great. And then I have my trilliums in there. I don't know if my red trilliums will take. I just planted them this year, but you can see the regular trilliums. They came with my property, which is wonderful. I have a goat's beard here. This is an east side garden. So it does get some shade, and it is typically very happy here. It's year 2 in my garden. A lot of ostrich fern. I think it's going to get fizzled soon with the heat wave. And then I have my Highbush Cranberry here. It's grown quite a bit since I first planted it, so I'm thrilled about that. This is to replace the giant burning bush that we have. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.